Hi, I'm Dr. Redmond with the Diagnostic Solutions Medical Education Department. This PowerPoint will briefly go through our response to the doctor's data-funded study. For more detailed information, go to the web link listed here in red or to our resource library under Education Articles. The study had two primary issues. It had significant conflict of interest, and it incorrectly tried to compare a quantitative assay and a qualitative assay. Diagnostic Solutions GI map is a quantitative assay. It uses qPCR to identify and quantify organisms at very low levels. BioFire and Meridian assays, which were the comparators in this test, are designed only to detect high levels of organisms that correlate with acute disease states. The results are yes or no. They're not intended to report low levels of organisms. A negative result does not mean the organism is not there. It means that the organism's level has not reached a threshold to be diagnosed as positive. This was a poorly done study with significant conflicts of interest. The study was fully funded by Doctors Data, a competitor, and was overseen by one of its past employees. Yet when asked if there were any conflicts of interest, they declared none. This is a timeline built from the methods section of the paper. Stool samples are collected. Stool samples are screened with BioFire film array and Meridian Bioscience, FDA-approved kits. Samples are spiked, then 16 spike samples and 7 allegedly negative controls are sent to Diagnostic Solutions to run the quantitative GI map with qPCR, and the same set is sent to Silver Cross Hospital in Illinois to run BioFire and Meridian. So the study is essentially a comparison of the quantitative qPCR run by GI map and the qualitative assessment run by BioFire and Meridian. There is no tiebreaker. It's a comparison of two methods. Beyond the unnoted conflicts of interest and the flawed study design that lacked a comparator, the authors also incorrectly calculated sensitivity and specificity. Table 1 lists all 16 spiked organisms that were sent to Diagnostic Solutions and run by GI map. GI map identified and quantified all 16 samples. In samples 10 and 12, the authors did not like the quantity that was included, so they lowered the sensitivity. But in reality, GI map had a 100% sensitivity. So this table is looking at specificity. It lists samples 1 through 16 that contained the spike samples. The asterisk identifies those organisms that were added, and both GI map and BioFire identified those organisms that were spiked. But the other organisms listed are contaminated organisms that BioFire and Meridian did not identify, but GI map did. Samples 17 through 23 are the alleged negative controls, and 2 were truly negative, but 5 were contaminated that BioFire and Meridian did not identify. Remember, this is a comparison study of GI map and BioFire and Meridian. And the authors of the study, Doctors Data, assumed that BioFire and Meridian were automatically correct. Though if you assume that GI map is correct, which we do, the specificity for GI map is 100%. We identified 35 out of 35 organisms. BioFire and Meridian only identified 16 out of those 35 organisms, giving them a 46% specificity. So in summary, this was a poorly done study that had significant conflicts of interest and lacked any control to make comparisons. Remember, BioFire and Meridian are qualitative tests designed to detect high levels of organisms intended to correlate with acute disease for a positive diagnosis. They're not intended to report low levels of organisms. A negative result does not mean that the organism isn't there. It means that the organism wasn't at the level high enough to be reported as positive. The GI map identified 100% of all spike samples, giving it a 100% sensitivity. And if the more sensitive qPCR is used as the comparator, GI map results in a specificity of 100%. If you have any further questions, you can go to the web link listed here in red, or you can call us at Medical Education. Thank you.